Welcome everybody to our live stream. It is New Year's Eve. We survived to another New Year's Eve here. Coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. International Master Sladgie, otherwise known as William Pascal. So, Santa reinstated my bankroll. In poker, I was asking on the stream for Christmas for a new poker bankroll, and by a few chance happenings last night, my poker bankroll has been almost fully reinstated. So that's Santa works in mysterious ways. Just in time for New Year's. So we've got a bunch of subscriber games for today's stream. Welcome everybody. What's up, Mr. Coffee? How are you? Bulldog Uyeba. In a sad note, Hungarian chess lost one of its most beloved coaches and grandmasters. Rest in peace, Grandmaster Gabor Kalai, who passed away today. Sadly, December 31st, 2021. He wasn't really a close friend of mine, but he was a famous chess personality. He was actually on television. They had a chess TV show with another TV personality for many years. Gabor was well beloved in the Hungarian chess world. So. And he was renowned worldwide as a very well-renowned coach. So that's a sad note to the end of the year and for today's stream. Rest in peace, Grandmaster Gabor Kalai. Anyway, moving forward, we have to live through another year. So, Cooking Rooks, thank you for the donation. 333 bits. Cooking Rooks has COVID. So we hope that you're on the mend. COVID Rooks. All right. Well, you can get together, maybe have a private lesson with Hikaru Nakamura in person or something in quarantine. You can go quarantine with Hikaru now. But no jokes. A lot of people are getting COVID. So hopefully you're going to be all right, and we're going to live through another 2022. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Hikaru is sensible enough to get vaccinated. Hopefully. All right. So we're a little confused. I'm a little confused. I didn't host an analysis stream last week, and so we have some games. It will be an interesting year. I agree. Welcome. And Happy New Year, Dr. Tripchance. We've got Mule Skinner, Percy Hepworth. I think those are games for this. I hope that's not from last week. I know Percy definitely submitted a game. I'm not sure about Mule Skinner. We've got Uber Driver, Sumaher, Mr. Coffee, Asterbait, and Miki. Who am I forgetting? You're on the list. You're on the list, Ripun. I know. But these are a lot of people. Some of them are not on the study list. Mr. Coffee made an incompatible study. I'll have to go. Guys, this is my makeup for yesterday. So this is our weekly subscriber stream. What we usually do on Thursday nights, we're doing tonight. 2.5 hours. We're going to be streaming till 9 Central European time. Let's see. Study. No, I want to do studies. That was a nice picture of that dude. But anyway, my studies. Dang it, Mr. Coffee. Incompatible. Quasar. So Quasar, Repun. Okay, Uber Driver, Repun, Ubatis, Cooking Rooks was in there, and Asterbate. However, not on the list. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not on the list. Percy, possibly Mule Skinner, Sumahair, Mickey, and Mr. Coffee. That would be 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. So if I got 5, then we've got 10 games and we're all set. Then, if Mule Skinner has a game, let's check and see if Mule Skinner. Let's check and see if Mule Skinner did indeed submit a game to me. Here. I don't remember if that was from the last week. For analysis tomorrow, that was 2 weeks ago. The D3 variation of the French. I think we already analyzed this game. I'll keep this for next week. No, that was on the 23rd. Okay, so we haven't seen this. This is the 10th game. So I don't know which one it is, though. I've got the study. It's definitely not that game. Unrated, 0-1. D3 French. I'm trying to find which game it is. He never tells me. Happy New Year, Sean Pinto. I'm not seeing any D3 games. Here it is. Alright. So, okay, this is our first game. Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner first on the list. So, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Rest in peace, Grandmaster Kalai. He was a very beloved person here in our Hungarian chess community. E4, E6, D3, and Asterbate, thank you for subscribing, by the way. Thanks to Cooking Rooks. Asterbate donated, Asterbate resubbed. Tier 3. Rookman64 LOL. What does that mean? I like that. But we're not sure what we're LOLing. That's kind of general. It's a bad sign. Mickey, thanks for subscribing. Mickey actually has a game in the analysis stream list. I've got 10 games, it looks like. So we're all set for tonight. We're going to go through those 10. I probably forgot someone. Alright, so D3 French, D5. You know, usually it's a King's Indian attack we're looking at here. King's Indian attack, very standard against the French. White can also play a Chigorin-like setup with Queen E2. You know, that's oftentimes played by people on move 1. Not move 1, but move 2. Move 2 rather than move 3. Here we see it on move 3. Alright, knight D2, knight F6. This is an interesting option. White to play G3 first. Knight F3 is standard. Now black played C5. Okay. Main line. You know, Mule Skinner, I don't think Mule Skinner is in the chat, but as I mentioned before, I think Kaidanov, Botvinnik, Alexander Golding, a bunch of people I've noticed playing, like, let's say not knight F6. You know, I'm no expert in the French. What are you talking about, Dash Rip Rock? I'm not familiar with Botvinnik triangle. What is a Botvinnik triangle? I've heard of the Bermuda Triangle, and I know who Botvinnik is, but I'm not familiar with a Botvinnik triangle. Can you explain what that is? I was going to recommend C5, followed by knight c6 and bishop d6. Basically, you're talking about not playing the French dash rip rock. That's a Sicilian. That's another opening. You know what I mean? You're not playing the French. If you want to play the Sicilian, yeah, that's fine, man. That's another opening. Botvinnik played both the French and the Sicilian. But for the most part, you know, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, you can do that. Of course. Black has the option. Yeah. Yeah, there are many different setups you can opt for, but assuming that we're going to play, you know, normal French move. Yeah. Alright, so d5, knight d2, knight f6. I mean, I like this setup with c5, and then black plays probably knight c6, g3, bishop d6. Speaking of John Watson, it's funny that you say Watson recommends shifting to a Sicilian, because he's actually, you know, the big godfather of... He was essentially the godfather of the French defense because of his book, you know, Play the French from the 80s. And then he revised it. But I think that Watson actually, you know, primarily recommends like this formation if you're going to play a normal French type of setup. The idea being that you don't play knight f6 early, and you can play the knight to e7, for example. You know, kind of. That's the idea. Anyway, okay, knight f6 is fine here. c5, g3, knight c6, but I mean, Muleskinner is going right into the heart of the main line. Of course, famously, Bobby Fischer beat the Mongolian name that I never can pronounce, like Magmercerin or whatever. He was not a particularly strong opponent for Fischer, but Fischer like massacred him in this line. So bishop e7 castles, and now castles is main line, but it's dangerous for black. So I think here I would play one of these. You know, I've talked about this in other analysis streams. Queen c7 or b6, followed by queen c7, bishop e7. Stay in the center for a time. Yeah, he also beat Sherwin. I think Sherwin's still alive. Let's see. So Sherwin's still kicking around. This is Muleskinner versus Juan. 1700 FIDE versus 1700 FIDE. He plays, let's see, castles b5. So b5's interesting idea, and I have seen some games, but the problem is White doesn't have to play in the classical fashion with like e5. If White plays in classical fashion here, you know, black gets a quicker sort of queenside expansion. Fortuna Chess Coach rating with a party of 11. Thank you. Welcome. Happy New Year, Fortuna. Welcome to the Raiders. Healthy and happy. So now the thing is, like, there's some stuff with like c4. White can play pawn takes pawn, looking for this or this here. White just shouldn't react robotically against b5. I guess rook e1 is okay. Not committing one way or the other. And then black plays bishop b7. I don't know what the best move is. Castles is reasonable. Also don't know if rook e1 is even necessary. You know, like this for me looks important. If ED we get a this is basically Rubinstein, you know. The idea of playing d4 is Rubinstein a Rubinstein structural approach to the position. It's always a battle for d4, d5. That pawn, if you try to take it, it won't last long, you know. And I don't know what to call this. For years now, I've been looking for a definition of this pawn, like a name for this. Like, what do you call this? It's not a backward pawn. I mean, it's an overextended base. Yeah, man. Thank you for the raid, Fortuna Chess Coach. Happy New Year. Wow, so white has a4 now. And there's some tactic here. Anyway, so that's my suspicion. And as you can see, some people even played c4. This is another idea, you know, trying to exploit another way of trying to exploit the diagonal. But basically, white just reverted to the standard setup, like robotically. Okay, rook e1 is okay. Bishop b7, and now still, I would strongly consider taking here. But again, like, this is even more horrible now. Like, you have the bishop from hell on b7. Heinrich Danielson versus Krasimir Rusev. I don't know what black's doing with the bishop on b7, honestly. Like, this looks really bad for black. Like, nice bishop. I'll take Danielson for 200, Bob. Alright. But white just goes robotic. e5 here. You know, the bishop's probably not ideal on b7. In a perfect world, I'd rather have like a5, bishop a6 probably on the queen side. Castling is overrated. Well, yeah, I mean, why does black need to castle now? The center is closed. He can wait. Knight d7, knight f1, and then h6. This is not forced. Kramnik wants to abort castling. Wait, who's Kramnik? Kramnik is a quitter. Alright, quitters. At least I'll never be a quitter. So, h6. So h6 is interesting. I mean, a5 is the traditional move here. But I think that Mule Skinner is toying with the idea of playing g5. He's in good company. Konstantin Sakayev lost to a 2300. Man. Sakayev is like a monster. He was like 2675. He's like suffering rating depression like all of us. Basically h4 standard move. And now queen c7. Attacking e5, keeping options to castle both sides, but I mean really like g5 can be very nasty. Queen e2, and now a5. So we're following this game. We're following a game from '97. Estonia versus Sweden. Milskinner's got a little bit of everything going on. A5, H6, castles. Schieberspieler, welcome. Happy New Year. Did you hear the bad news about Kali? Probably. But I guess he had been sick. I didn't realize that. Knight H2. Now black plays C4. So the question is, what do you do here? He doesn't want to castle into the attack. Yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm not sure what black should play. Castling queenside seems weird. Castling kingside seems dangerous. I'm really not sure what black should play in this position. Yeah, but I mean, it's still Uber Driver. It's not that easy for black to do something either. I mean, what's black supposed to do here? Maybe black has G5? Can we roll the dice with like G5? Take, 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 take. This is hanging. It's not really rolling the dice, right? I mean, this seems fully playable. Or maybe not. Queen F3, nope. I'm not sure how good it is. It looks like there's some danger, but this is covered. I mean, G5 might be playable. So let's see what the Oracle says. I really don't know what I would do here. Black played Knight B6. That's not a move I'm in love with either, but I guess just my human instinct to want to do something definitive here. Computer doesn't really like G5. But notice how the computer handles it for white. It just takes and then plays this quiet move C3. Hopefully playing like D4 and then winning the pawn on G5. No, it's a subtle position. The best move according to the engine is A4. You know, of course that's an idea. But I just don't like these type of structures, personally. Okay, Knight B6 was played. C4 was played, but we don't want to open it up. I guess if black isn't well developed. This is the other problem. He now secures his center. White secures the d-pawn. And black gets some space. I mean, I would think like b4 now. But now white really has secure center. Not sure what he can do to attack, though. Probably bishop f4. Right, no, black's not worried about checkmate. I'm just not sure what his plan is, you know? I think it's hard to play both sides here. It's hard for both sides to do anything. Like, really do anything. I wouldn't know. You know, I feel like I was choosing a random move. But, I mean, c4 may just be a mistake. a4, b4. I also think, like, the bishop really... In a lot of cases, it might actually be better on a6. Yeah. Well, I mean, in the first place, you might put the bishop on a6. So all this kind of makes sense. And we get to a very, you know, messy, closed position. And now he goes bishop a6 anyway. Might as well just put it there in the first place. All right. Now queen d1. That looks reasonable. c3, and then we're going to have fianchettoed knight. Does this count as a fianchettoed knight if I play knight b2? What do you guys think? Does that technically count as fianchettoing your knight? Yeah, it's a strong pawn on f4, though. It's a quiet killer. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for resubmitting your game. I think that Mule Skinner didn't like that his knight was like immobile there, but it's very, very disruptive. I think he didn't like that it would never be able to really find a safe place to move to. So it's hard to play that move. And now he's planning on breaking with a4. White trades off what was our bad bishop. A nice safe place for the king on d7. Okay. And then white like randomly puts the bishop back on h3. That's so weird. I guess he changed his mind. a4. Yeah, I mean, the moves look reasonable. Here. Now he goes back to f1. Don't you love a closed position? Bishop f1 again. No, I don't hate bishop f1. Gufeld's got nothing on me. Rook, queen, rook. So much for the kingside attack. I mean, maybe white can sack a piece on h6 and win an endgame. Yeah, I don't have a problem with bishop h3 necessarily. But I just hate playing these kind of positions, man. I mean, this is rough. You know, it's so hard and blocked. It looks like black's better now. Well, I'm not even certain we can break through. I mean, how do we break through here? I guess rook b2. Even so, like, how is black going to win this? We've got to maneuver knight to a3. Maybe we can gang up on the d pawn. It's very hard to break through. It's very, very hard to break through. Yeah, he went to a3. Well, I mean, now if we trade queens and play knight a3, white is basically paralyzed. Trade queens, play knight a3, force rook c1. Dr. Chipchan's suggesting g5. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think now is the time for g5. I think it'll just weaken our pawns. No, I mean, I think we should focus here on the queen side. The question is, should we trade queens or not? Oh, after queen a1? Yeah, I still don't think it does anything. Like, I don't see what g5 does. It trades pawns, and it looks like g5 is weak. This position just gives me a headache. You know, I don't want to look at it. He did something like that. It just makes my head hurt, you know, this whole thing. That's why I don't play the closed King's Indian. I mean, the Nimzo is bad enough, man, but playing positions like this just makes me hate chess, you know. It's almost as bad as playing chess 960. It's just a big tangle of pieces all over the place. I prefer boxing to wrestling all the time. Never really been a fan of wrestling. So, okay, he plays this to keep the queens on. This queen is pretty active on a6. I think you got something there. You know, maybe there's a justification for that. And then g5. Again, I don't like g5. I don't know. We have to make progress on the queen side. Let's see. Takes here. Find me a plan. Can we sack a piece? This knight will come there. I mean, I guess like king c6 or something. Knight d3, rook a2, possible play rook b1. Black like puts their king here. I mean, we might be able to sack a piece on the pawn chain to get two connectors at some point. And then, yeah, okay, the idea is like you're saying knight c4. Yeah, I mean, something weird like that might work. Clearly black is better, but I don't know that black is like winning. Yeah, white is better on the king side, black's better on the queen side. That's why I don't like g5. But I don't know, you know, if this is enough. I think this is wrong. So he trades off like white's bad bishop, but he weakens the d4 pawn. Is it worth it? Oh, or not? He's like, no, I want my bad bishop. No, I want to have a bad bishop. So I would think like takes, and this pawn on g5 looks kind of suspicious. Is it just me? Or does that pawn look lonely? I mean, seriously. How are we going to protect that pawn? I mean, here, ain't nobody protecting that pawn on g5. So the only chance would be like to counterattack this. But this is pretty scary. I guess this is more important though. You know, black's okay. Black can defend this somehow. But I mean, it might be like a perpetual, right? If you take the pawn, I guess we're getting in there pretty fast, actually. Knight c2, rook a2, attack f7. Oh, there's also knight h3. I didn't even think of that. But I mean, okay, like this isn't really... I don't know that that's like a good result. You know, this isn't great. For black, obviously there's a check here too. So he's got to watch that. Yeah, it's not so clear. Yeah, knight d3 threatening to win the queen is also oof. Wow, so after bishop takes, pawn takes, you have that right away, actually, threatening this fork and the b4 square. I'm not happy. Yikes. No. I don't like g5, and probably you should take with the pawn. But I don't like g5 in the first place. It's funny that white wouldn't exchange there. And now e7 to control the c5 square seems better. Yeah, I don't know what the point of bishop d8 is. Maybe you had some idea to maneuver over here. Phew. King f3. I was thinking g4. To stop h5 and then fix the weakness on h6. Okay, I understand he wants to get the king off the line. King f3, queen a8. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And now what's the most obvious move for white? I gotta finish this game up. King g4. Of course, because we just want to put our king on g4 and say we could. Because that's normal? Is it normal to play queen g4? What did he, like, get dared? Hey, I dare you to put your king on g4. His friend, like, on his way to the bathroom said, I'll give you, like, $50 if you play king g4 and don't lose. He's like, alright. Alright, you're on. Side bet. Play king g4 and survive. Check. It's so bad. Bad, not Bob. It's just bad. King f3. It's bad and utterly senseless. White just like lost his mind. He just like moving his king around for no reason. Yeah, h5 is good. And now black's simply threatening mate in 1. That was a weird meltdown by white. He like self-mated himself after achieving a somewhat interesting position. Very strange. Maybe Muleskinner slipped in $50 under the table or something. I don't know what happened there. Alright, next game, Percy. Is Percy in the list? Percy in the list. I would be grateful. You could help me with this game. Oh no. He submitted the game? We didn't do this already? Yeah, Petrusian like lost his mind in mid-game or something. If Petrusian was like haunted by the spirit of a... He was possessed by a Potzer mid-game. Is this a game I did already? No. Okay. This is the... Oh, Percy's always sending his games against me. Alright. Simul game against Percy from a couple weeks ago. So, guys, our next stream will be Sunday. First stream of the year. Today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday's the 2nd. Okay. 2nd of January, Simul on Sunday. Don't miss it. Petrusian is awesome. I have like these two. I have the 2 huge hardcover compilations of Petrusian's games. The only thing is like you have to weed through a lot of like draws. I mean, since Petrusian drew like 60% of his games, I mean, you know, there's a lot of like really uninteresting sort of draws. But yeah, Uber Driver, I mean, you can learn a lot by studying Petrusian's games. He's unbelievable. He was unbelievable. He had an incredibly great understanding of the game. E4, E6, another French defense. It's a French defense theme day. So I was white here. I just play something different every time. It was knight c3, bishop b4, and now this, whatever it's called. Alekhine-Muratsi. The Alekhine-Muratsi Gambit. Is it only lagging? Maybe there's lag. There may be delay. I had like a 5-minute delay the other day. Schieberspieler. It's very possible. I don't have any drop frames, but my stream's been kind of weird lately. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. Astrobate for resubscribing. Thanks for just being here. You know, Schieberspieler, thanks for being a regular on my stream. Sorry we missed you on the Tuesday tournament. Also, check out Schieberspieler. You're doing a team battle, right? Streamer also. Mr. Streamer Spieler. D takes E. Well, I don't feel like Petrusian was as hyper-modern as Nizovich. But yeah, okay. D takes E4, A3. Bishop E7. Yeah, that's the best line. You know, famously, Alekhine killed Nimzovich in this game where it was like bishop takes, knight takes, F5. Huh. Like, this is horrible for white, honestly. This is not a good way to play for black. I don't think so. I mean, black has no dark square bishop. He just like destroyed Nizovich. So bishop e7 is the safest, right? Now, this is a move I should try sometime. Next time I'm going to play g4. Shout out to Mr. Coffee. Oh, thanks for the shout out. Yeah. Astrobate just gifted a tier 1 sub to Schieberspieler, making him not only a VIP but a gift sub. Yeah, F3 in the Gambit line. You know, that's funny. In this line, take, f5, f3, pawn takes pawn, queen takes. Yeah, I mean, nobody has the guts to play this, but it's actually, like, not losing by force. There's 0 games where this move has been played, right? I mean, I'm sure that you can find games in ChessBase, the under-8 championship of Sri Lanka, where someone tried this. This is Schieberspieler-like materialism. Queen takes d4, knight b5, queen e5 check, bishop e2, and now knight a6. Yeah, I mean, Stockfish actually says knight e2 is White's best move against the winner. That's one of the reasons why I play it. I mean, I was inspired by Bronstein. He has a game in his book, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Well, not only by Bronstein, I was inspired by Alyakin's game too, but you know, who wants to learn like the main lines of the winner? With Notch Papa in this, knight takes e4, and now knight f6. So I played main line, queen d3. So I had a game with somebody like Notch Papa. I don't remember who it was who played this against me, but I mean that move seems kind of weird, you know. It struck me as very strange. I don't remember who it was. It struck me as strange to like block your c pawn. This has been played though. That move looks strategically wrong. So Stockfish says takes and play knight d7. Or knight bd7 immediately. And that's what he played. Let's turn off the engine. Maurice, turn off your engine. And now I played a horrible move. That's wishful thinking. Because again, I just don't know theory. If you ask me when I played this game, what's the variation for White? I don't know. I had another game where I did something awful like c4 too early when I was undeveloped. I did not know that like White's supposed to play bishop f4 here. Now I know. It's kind of a weird, you know, White's pieces are sort of weirdly placed. Not really that well coordinated. Now we know that bishop f4 is the main move. But I tried this, hoping to get my bishop on the long diagonal. That was a fantasy. Then I realized, oh shit, he has like queen d5. And after knight takes, queen takes, knight f6. My original plan was I think, was to play queen f3. But then I realized something wasn't right. There was something about queen f3. That's what this player here played in the list. What was it about this move that I didn't like? It wasn't queen d5. Like, I expected queen d5. That wasn't really a problem. There was another move for black that started to bother me, I think. I don't know if it was e5. I mean, it doesn't look like bishop d7 works. Because you have queen takes b7. Although I think that black would have compensation for this pawn for sure. He could play that, but I thought there was something that I saw that I didn't like for sure. I don't know what it was. Chess Zebra, welcome. Yeah, I don't mean to ignore you. I'm just so into these games. I oftentimes like don't answer the chat. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We've got yeah, I read what you wrote, you know, that there's a master in Hawaii who plays this stuff with White. I just can't. I'm trying to remember what it was. I thought I saw something for black here that was really nasty. Maybe just c5? I didn't like c5, I guess. c5 at least equalizes, I would think. So what's the deal? So I finally played this really weird move now, Queen E5. It was the idea of like trying to keep C5. At least try to discourage him from playing C5. Why is C5 that good with a C8 bishop? Well, Schieberspieler, it doesn't help the C8 bishop. to be honest, it's, and you probably know the French better than me. It doesn't help our C8 bishop, but it does destroy white's central pawn. You know, that's my main focus in the openings, in fighting for the center. You know, one thing at a time. I mean, this still ain't gonna, they ain't gonna help our bishop. But it shows Schieberspieler's thinking on a different level. Schieberspieler would play Queen D5 because he likes trading queens. And there's nothing wrong with Queen D5. Queen D5 is fine. It like equalizes, you know. There's nothing wrong with this move. That's totally standard. But if you want to win with black, I'm not sure I would play it. You know, you might want to play something else. Anyways, so the game was Queen E5, and I was kind of scared he wouldn't go for it, but he did. You know, now it's like, all right, I'm equal. I'm not worse. After Queen takes D5, Pawn takes D5, it's an exchange French. A3 is not that harmful. G3, maybe a little. We're a little bit weak on the white squares. If anybody's worse, it's probably white. But on the other hand, it's my move. You know, maybe it's not so bad. I have bishop F4. You know, I mean, I'm not going to win against Schieberspieler. I'm not going to win against most masters here. But I was happy to at least be able to play bishop F4. What is the best move for black now? You could play much more dynamically. You know, see here, I think black went very passive. Bishop F5, for example. That's a Summersby. Yeah, no advertising. It's watermelon. My favorite flavor. It's not really a winter drink, though. Yeah. It's a girly drink. I'm trying to recover. I drank too much beer last night. I can't see a beer. Bishop F5 is better. This is passive. Here, covering the white squares. Oh, you like crazy? It's not crazy. Bishop D6 is not crazy. You know, it's a reasonable move. It's probably not great, though. White also doesn't have to take. I mean, taking is probably okay. What are you guys doing? Yeah, I don't know. Bishop D6 is playable. I mean, what can I say? I like bishop F5. The engine says anything's okay. His move is the best. I think it's a little bit on the passive side. So C6, F3, castles. And now I decided to play King D2. I think my original plan was King F2. You read a book once that, yeah, don't believe everything you read. Especially if it's like Ben Feingold's general rules about chess or something. King D2. Yeah, never play F3. I mean, I could have put my king on F2. You see, but I'm not castling here. Like, why don't I want my king on a better square? Do I think the center is going to open up? This is octopus. The amputated octopus with two tentacles cut off. That's my terminology for bishops that are blocked, bad bishops. This is a 4-tentacled octopus. This octopus has just 2 tentacle. But tentacly. Only 2 tentacli. Chop them off. So I don't like our bishop on e6, but there is no great square now. Bishop f5 is clearly g4. You know, so you dig your grave and you lie in it, right? b6, trying to play bishop a6 is wishful thinking. Or maybe not, you know. But if bishop c8 to a6, I can play bishop h3. I don't know. You know, that's an idea, but it weakens his queen side. So this is solid but passive. And now we've got this Jabava, the Jabava or Yabava advance. Now white is better. See, I don't know what I would play here, but looking at it from black's perspective, trading pieces is reasonable. Bishop is, this is reasonable. This is reasonable. This is reasonable. He does that. I think that slightly weakens your king side and gives me a hinge to play g5. Now white had like a huge advantage. Bishop d6. And that. See, you shouldn't have given me this. Now white has a huge attack and space advantage. He's probably almost lost now, you know. Plus 2.2. Look how fast this went downhill. Chess for Zebras. You probably read it in Chess for Zebras, Chess Zebra. I would guess. Or maybe it was another Jonathan Rosen book. Happy New Year, World Loser! Yeah, I keep forgetting. Chess for Zebras. 7 Deadly Chess Sins. So he's really like messed us up by playing h6. Happy New Year to World Loser. Our favorite loser here on the stream. f4. And now all of his pawns are on the wrong color. Every single pawn except for a7. Yeah, this is, I can't believe I didn't win this, but I was in time pressure. Bishop d3 and then f5. And here I probably screwed up. I don't know. I thought I was strangling him. But I wonder if I could very seriously consider taking this pawn. I mean, g6 is really weak, and I'm threatening like rook h g1. Pawn takes, rook h g1, or ag1. I mean, he's in a bad way here. This looks... It looks terminal, you know? I mean, I think like black is probably just lost. Wow. It's close. Rook takes f4. Black is hanging on? Wow. Apparently he's hanging on here. Because he has rook g4. I didn't see that. Wow, rook g4. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of delay. You know, so like Dr. Tripchance's comment comes in a little late. But yeah, that's what we're thinking. But I decided not to trade. And just go with the space advantage. And then I'm trying to get my knight to e5. But I was in time pressure now. Just take and pray. That's usually what Schieberspieler does. That's his general chess strategy. Although it almost always works. I just want to get my knight to e5 and pray. And now he went for exchanges. And I don't know why I took on h7. I was just kind of panicking. There's no objective reason this is better than going knight e5. And then I saw more space over here, so I took that. And then he did. He created the one giant squid. Giant squid position. And it all started with c6 and bishop e6. It looks like a happy whale or something. You basically have all your pawns. But I was down to 4 minutes. Yeah, I mean, he's like strategically lost here. I mean, my other idea was to come in, of course. on this side. I have access on the b7 weakness. It's a winning position for white. But I just didn't have time. b4 is probably a very serious mistake. But I was desperately low on time. I think this should be considered, actually. I don't want to give myself, cut myself off from the possibility of coming in with my king on the dark squares. But I was just short of time and just made a quick move. And now I've closed up the position more. So in the final position, I'm not sure if I'm actually winning anymore. Because I have no way to get in, Play Lion Chess is rating with party of 8. Second raid for today. We had Fortuna Chess and now Play Lion Chess. Raids are welcome, like queen trades. Schieberspieler welcomes queen trades. I welcome raids. Friendly raids, at least. So anyway, that was a draw because it was just too hard to break through and I had no time left. Uber driver, who's next? Let's see. Where's our study? Learn, study, my studies. Analysis stream. All right. So, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We're going to be streaming for another hour and a half. Move 11, welcome. No, you can't submit a game. All right. I've got 1, 2. I got to write these off. Where's my pen? My pen is gone. All right. Mule Skinner, Percy Hepworth. How many do we got? Uber driver, Ripun. Oh, well, that's a different player. It's Ripun Bansa versus Rianchi Bansa. So, beating on the siblings. Donations are welcome. Tax write-offs are welcome. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mickey Sumaher is 8. Mickey is 9. And Mr. Coffee is 10. That's 10 games. But welcome to VIP Move 11. Repun, if your cousin is 1452 FIDE rated, why isn't she like 2300 on lichess? I thought everyone with a 1400 FIDE rating was 2300 on lichess. That's weird. Yeah, tax-free donations. I have to send my check to the IRS. Don't remind me. All right, Uber driver. I have to pay taxes so I can be a U.S. citizen. Now that I don't live in the United States, I'm simply like, why am I paying taxes to the U.S. government? I'd have to pay taxes somewhere anyway, but maybe I'd have to pay less here. I don't know. If I give up my U.S. citizenship, it would take 5 years. I think you have to wait like 5 years before you can stop paying taxes. It's at least 5 years, but I'm not sure. All right, but I'm not quite ready to take that, so I'll just keep paying my taxes so I can have the honor of being a U.S. citizen. But I'm just gonna stay, in Hungary, so I don't have to be a victim to a drive-by shooting or something like that. The United States is just ridiculous. I'm glad I'm out of there. All right, Uber driver's up next. We've got D4, D5, C4, E6. Oh, Uber driver loves the Tarash. Knight C3, C5. He probably wants to play like the Henning-Shara Gambit or something. Uber driver, do you play this? Henning-Shara Gambit. E3. The passive. Who plays the E3 against the Tarash? Schieberspieler don't play E3. Taxes. Uber driver he pays taxi taxes. So Uber driver, I over tipped my taxi driver yesterday for New Year's. Just a shout out to all of you taxi drivers out there and Uber drivers. Don't forget to think about your servers and taxi drivers and people like that. The guy was kind of surprised. But anyways, e3, knight f6, knight f3. We transpose to the semi-Tarash, which is actually like better than the normal Tarash, I think. So I like a6 here. Uber, why don't you play a6? Study 500 games of Rubinstein's and then call me in the morning, all right? My preference is to play this move first. Yeah, no, I mean, that's main line. You're playing main line. Knight c6, a3, a6. I had this game against, like, Sherish Lyosh. I think I did knight e5 here, but that's, like, a really rare move. I don't know. This is a weird position. This is a weird feeling, like you can't keep the tension anymore. It's really annoying. Like, it feels unfair that it's totally symmetrical. Like, what's white supposed to do? Like, h3? Age? That's not a command. Age. Age, if age was a command, man, I would delete it. I think h3. Roman said in his videos that a3 isn't very useful for white in the Queen's Gambit decline. That's actually true, move 11. But this is not a Queen's Gambit decline. This is a semi-Tarash. I mean, the obvious difference is that the bishop is on c1. In most cases, in the Queen's Gambit decline, you're talking about the bishop's out on f4 or g5. And, I mean, in most cases, it's going to be some situation where we, like, take on c5 and play, like, b4 and maybe fianchetto our bishop on b2. Yeah, both sides have this plan. But again, if you study Rubinstein's games, you see a lot of themes where, sometimes this knight is in the way. Like, if you play this type of thing, that's why I like a6 better. If you play a6, and let's say white does whatever, you take here, takes, b5, bishop goes somewhere, bishop b7, and then we put the knight on d7, and we play with the bishop, has an open diagonal. I think that's slightly preferable. In many cases, it can be disadvantageous to have the knight on c6. That's why I'm saying I would prefer to use that move order if I played this opening. But anyway, okay, whatever. This is like a main line, So obviously you can take either way. Schieberspieler plays the semi-Tarash, so he probably knows this. He has a very well worked out opening repertoire. So ED is normal. But ED is the gutsy way to play. I lost to Kaidanov, like the only time I've ever played this position with white. In an over-the-board game. I don't know what possessed me to play this, but I did like bishop e2. And it's just like really passive. I regretted that. I always like lost to him so stupidly. It was weird, 3 times, like, and I always did something utterly retarded. So why did I play the white side of this like stupid passive? I'm not Lyosh Portish, like I can't play this position. Karpov or something. Black just has an active IQP. This is the way to go, like bishop b5. You play Nimzo style. That's the best option for white, I believe. But Uber Driver plays knight takes. So this is Schieberspieler. Schieberspieler central now. Yeah, I mean, bishop d3 is totally normal. I don't know what else to do. Yes. Yes. I'm not an expert. The engine says... Well, the opening score says bishop e7. This may be a fine point. Don't forget to read the fine print. Right? Bishop e7 might be a very important... CDE4. CD4, ED4, bishop e7, castle, castle. So now it's like a Caro-Kann Panov by transposition. This has many different openings. It's the Queen's Gambit accepted, it's the Caro-Kann Panov. I think I have like 50,000 subs now. I mean, I'm not sure about Hikaru. I think I have slightly more than Hikaru. Rook e1, knight f6. That's main line, but bishop f6 is the other main line. I believe Karpov played this, right? So there's this plan of knight e7. I mean, it's very standard. Black goes knight e7 and then reinforces the d5. But it's not easy to play this. I never understood this move particularly, to be honest. Schieberspieler probably understands it. Okay, it defends the pawn. I mean, if you want a very deep answer. I mean, I guess you're defending your pawn, but for example, okay, I like a3, you know. Schieber knows this stuff for sure. I think he must have left. Schieber has left the building. I like a3 with the idea of bishop c2 and queen d3. If black plays passively, we go bishop c2. And then we have a straightforward plan to do the Aster mate. Gulko Kaidanov. See, Gulko didn't lose to Kaidanov in 1994, unlike me. Oh yeah, you're right. This is a good point. Like, Dr. Tripchance mentions that like it might have something to do with like exchanging on d5. But I'm not, really enthusiastic about that. I just never understood that move particularly. Okay, knight f6 here is a very... Yeah, this goes back to the first time I lost to Ivanov. I had something like this with white, and I didn't know why my bishop was on f4. Just like randomly. But it can go to e5, like Zukertort did that against Steinitz in the first World Championship. The technically what was the first World Championship match, I think. Zukertort had some game where, if I'm not mistaken, he maneuvered bishop e5 in an IQP position. It didn't work well for me though. But it's better than nothing, I guess. But I don't know, bishop f4 is kind of a weird square here. Yeah, so Karpov ain't gonna play bishop f4, that's for sure. Yeah, I think a3. See, also, like, bishop g5 isn't a big deal. This looks like Korchnoi Karpov. That was a different position, though. I mean, knight h5, does knight h5... Well, does h6 work here? h6, bishop h4, knight h5. Is this Korchnoi Karpov? Bishop e7. Something very similar happened in one of the Korchnoi Karpov matches. Basically, Karpov just like trades off the bishop, and then like Korchnoi went nuts. He couldn't get anything, and then he just like killed himself. Anyways, it wasn't this exact position, but it was close. It was some kind of Panov. Bishop f4 is weird. And now black plays a6. But, knight b4 okay is like the standard move. b6 is I mean, is there a problem? Do you have a problem? I mean, this guy's gonna go like knight b5, knight c7 here. Kempinski beat a guy. Rook c1. I mean, white has nothing. So I like b6 better than a6. A6 is more weakening. You do have a little bit of weakness here. And sometimes they obviously have d5, like pawn sacrifices and stuff. It just doesn't look like he's got it. Man, Uber Driver just refuses to... He refuses to bite with the knight b4. I mean, like, what happens if he goes d5? You're just gonna go shopping at the mall or something? Hey, do you want to go... Let's get out of here and do some shopping or something. Do we have any tricks? Pawn takes pawn, knight takes. Let me guess. Knight takes, queen takes. Queen takes, rook takes. The excitement is like too much to bear at this point. Uber Driver has no problem with draws. Some people do. But I definitely wouldn't want to be facing like a 2000 player in this position and allow him to play d5. I mean, I think you gotta risk the knight b4 here. I mean, Uber has other risks. He's risking this knight coming to e5. You know, crossing the street is dangerous, but sometimes we have to do it. Yeah, I mean, white will have attacking chances after knight e5. So this is safer. a3, preventing knight b4, and now knight a5, right. And anyway, Uber Driver dropped me a note where he said he was talking about the idea of playing knight a5. And I remember, I always say this, but I remember years ago when I played like, what's his name? Who's that? Vallejo. I played Vallejo in Blitz when he was not even a GM yet. And I remember he was doing like knight a5 in the QGA positions. I mean, this is a very normal idea anyway. Especially here where white has like weakened himself with a3. That obviously wasn't an option till now. And now knight e5. And so you're actually following a game. Now you played knight c4. Yeah, Uber Driver's like Mr. Safe. So if Uber Driver were playing someone else, like what would like Yanofsky do if he was white against Uber Driver? What would happen in the Yanofsky Uber Driver game? I saw a very similar game today that someone shared with me. It was like Yanofsky versus Alyekin from New York 1924. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that can happen, right? Tactics. Queen e2, right? That's what Yanofsky would do. Queen e2. And then the question is, we have a little tactique. Le petit tactique. Knight takes a3, and we're just winning Mr. Pawnee. My little Pawnee on c3. And it looks good, right? What's white going to do? He loses my little Pawnee. That's how Alyekin ended up winning like a drawn ending against Yanofsky. He like queened his A and B pawns. He just let him win like for no reason whatsoever. Yanofsky got bored and just like lost his queenside pawns and resigned when he was better like the whole game. It was kind of weird. Yeah, knight takes f7 game. Uber Driver knows his classics. But it was just a weird loss. Like, there was no reason for Yanofsky to lose. He played well. I mean, it was just kind of strange. And it was, like, after the time control, too. Move 33, he just started to, like, lose. So, anyway, knight takes c4, rook takes c4. And the more pieces we trade, the more isolated pawn is kind of a weakness. Bishop e5. The super bishop. It's an artificial... It's not a bishop, okay? We've got to be politically correct. If I'm not a good chess player, I've got to at least be funny, right? This is not a bishop. It's an artificial pawn. It's not nice to call it a bishop. That's too politically... It's an artificial person. An artificial pawn. I prefer... We'll do a little Star Trek quote. I prefer the term artificial person, Mr. Coffee. A little Star Trek for Mr. Coffee. Welcome, Antonio. Happy New Year. Anyways, yeah, this is a classic IQP position. G6 seems kind of weird, but I mean, yeah, you're facing possible threats on the king side. Can I trade pieces, please? Like, I don't know what to do. I had a game like this last week against Ardelian, where I had to play like f5 in an ending with the same structure basically, but it was much different. I mean, I'll play f5 if I have to. Take care, Antonio. So g6 like looks kind of weird, but I mean, I guess we have to do something. Queen h6. Yeah, that's kind of scary actually. Watch out for exchange sacrifices now. Rook e8. You know, maybe you should have played... Sorry. Maybe you should have played rook e8 right away, rather than g6 right away. What if we play this first? Giving ourselves the option of like knight d7, knight f8? Potentially? That's what my first thought was. I think it looks reasonable. Rook e8 right away, rather than moving any pawns. Can we try to get on without any pawn moves? Because that looks kind of awkward. Queen h6, rook e8. Now he's playing bishop f8 here. So this doesn't make sense, you know, but... No, you're going to take it. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's a nice trick, but you can trade pieces, you know. So if white wants to win, he has to try like rook e3 or something. What are you going to do now? You have just bishop f8. Just bishop f8. Bishop f8, queen somewhere. Bishop g7. Yeah. How do you know, guys, that they eat shrimp for New Year's? What are you talking about? Who's they? Paella. Antonio's having some paella. No, he lives in Italy now. Okay, knight e4, bishop e4, bishop e4, bishop f8, queen h4, and now knight e4. Yum yum, I love trading pieces. So now black is better. Yeah, you got the c file, and the isolated pawn on d4 is slowly kind of a weakness. But even so, it's probably a draw. I love shrimp. Yeah, I mean, even this move feels like kind of unnecessary, but okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to trade... I don't really want to trade queens. Uh-oh. Does that work? Well, if that works, we're in good shape. You take and pin him, right? Oh, man. So you got... If only white had, like... I don't know, man. If only white had h3 and it would be a draw. He never made back rank mate, you know, go away. Otherwise, he could play, like, pawn takes pawn, drop his rook, you know, play e7 or something. Oh. Did we need that? Is the king a good piece in the endgame? The only way is active counterplay. White, I mean, White has to play this. This is the only chance. Or maybe this. I mean, he has to do something here. It's lost, probably, but... It's a blitz game and he had no time left. But at least try the active defense. Passive defense will never work, you know. I mean, forget about it. Oh, that's it. He tried for the rook trick. Alright, guys. We're taking too long in these games. Let's go. So, I've only got an hour left. We've got to do these games faster. I got Ripun versus Cousin. Alright, oof. Yeah, you got a little bit of the Aliekin luck there going on. People, they just hate like defending like slightly worse positions. It's much easier to just lose than draw with an isolated pawn in a slightly worse position. Just lose and it's, you know, play the next game. Play another bullet game. Why bother drawing like a slightly worse position? D5, knight c3, bishop b4, e5, c5, a3, bishop a5. So, Luputian. The Luputian variation. Yeah, this is interesting. b4, of course, the famous line here for White. The pawn sacrifice of sorts is... I didn't realize Mamajara was into this. There's like Anand Halifman. Halifman also played it against Kasparov, which was pretty brave. Alright. But Ripun instead played Queen G4, which is like a sort of normal widower idea. Of course, I don't really know this particular line. I always tried B4 when I was White. Knight E7. And now, I mean, I'm out of my depth here. I've never played this position for either side. Apparently this is main line. This is main line. This is main line. And now, there's not so many games, like 82 games. So, I mean, I would think like knight f5 would be a move. What's the deal with that? White just plays like bishop d3 and it's no problem. So the Putian, Baganyan, Timan, only people whose names end in N can play this variation. Be a nun and play castle. That's actually scored alright. That's probably what Farago Ivan would do. Leko Grishuk. It is playable. So what's the idea? Yeah, this is playable apparently. F5. It's not that crazy, man. Castling is not that crazy. Yeah, I mean, clearly c4 is very natural, undoubling the pawns. This looks like something Spassky would have played with White. Like Spassky Korchnoi or something. Bishop d3. Does that work? Does that make sense? Wow, the fireworks are going off early here. I don't know why they're doing fireworks so early. Knight takes e5. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen takes g7, knight takes d3, check takes. And black's king is not really safe. Alright. That's no good. So, place here. Castle. And now black plays knight e4. Yeah, interesting game. I don't know. If you take, black has competition on the white squares. Yeah, I mean, I don't like this bishop takes e4, and Ponomarev doesn't either. I don't like the look of this white square bishop coming to get me. You know, when you take this knight, you change the whole game, you know, into a situation where it's like opposite colored bishops, but his white square bishop is coming in, you know. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it might be coming anyway, to be honest. You know, maybe you can't stop that. So Ponomarev here played bishop e3. It looks reasonable to me. Okay. Bishop takes e4, and then h5. I don't know, h5 seems like, yeah, okay, black's trying to win a pawn, but I'm not sure that's the proper thing to do here. It weakens black's position. I mean, this seems okay to me. What's the problem? I don't see a problem here. Do you have a problem? Computer thinks that white's still much better, though. Wow. The computer's such a materialist. Mr. Material. White's clearly better. But I don't know about h5. A what? The what? This is crazy. So he just wants to be... He wants to be cool. Alright, like, I get it if bishop takes g6 check. No, I don't get it. I mean, I don't think this works. Check. Now, obviously, there's two options. You going this way or going this way. I mean, at first glance, it looks like black could go either way. I mean, like, king f8, c4. Let's just say queen c7, bishop b4 check, king g8, knight g5, and I sack my queen back. On f7. I don't think this is sound. So the opponent went the other way, and then c4. And then takes. Yeah. This is not as good. It's obviously a kind of blitz style. Whoops. Playing in blitz style. Crazy unnecessary queen sacrifices. Alright. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, yeah, there's no time for bishop f4. Now maybe bishop f4. Too late. You have to take. Yeah, I mean, here black needs to be careful. Right? And the what? This is like preparing bishop f4. Yeah, I mean, black just basically like didn't take it seriously before it was too late. The black was just not careful enough, you know. Didn't realize the danger. And then it was too late. All right, next game. We've got Mickey in the list. Yabatis. Yabatis is not with us. Mickey's game is not on the list, but I will get there. Mickey's game is a problem. Mickey, can you give me another copy of that game? Because I couldn't load it in. Can you put it in a study for us? It would not go in the study when I tried to put it in a study. You said to copy and paste it, but it just wouldn't fly. Alright, you bought us? Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in this year. We're going to be back on Sunday with our next stream. Oh, we got a network error. What? Did anybody else get a network error? Ubatis is black here. I love this. G5. I played it against Morales once. I think the refutation of G5 is Rook G1. You're gonna troll me, I'll troll you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I actually played this guy, Sergey Ivanets, in the New York Open. He played the Polish opening against me. Knight F3, G5, G3. No, G5 is absurd, but I played it once for fun. I think I won against Morales. Knight takes G5. G3 is not good. And then G4, and now this is actually... It's like an Alekhine reversed, but this is probably better. Because you have back here... It's kind of similar to like a reverse, or some weird weird moderns, right? Like E4, G6, this whatever this is. The Knight F6, E5, Knight H5. This is kind of popular. Carlsen, Magnus. Whoever that is, Rapport played it a lot. These guys are crazy. But Anthony Miles played this back in '96. What a surprise. The G5 ready line? C40, oh. In the ready? Whoa. That's not the ready. Knight F3, D5, C4, D4, B4, G5. Aha. Right. It's slightly more appropriate for black here. With that long diagonal. Good point, move 11. Anyway, unsound, but it scared his opponent. Now C5. Yeah, we agreed that Knight B5 is an interesting try. So Knight B3, B6, D3. It's hard to understand why white would not play Bishop G2 in this position. D3, Bishop B7, and then why would white not play E4? I was suggesting maybe F5, but it's very risky. I realize this is like a troll opening, but at this point it's kind of becoming a normal position. It looks like chess 960. Bishop B7, Rook G1. Again, why not E4? And now A5. That's really pushing the envelope of normality. Normalcy, or normality. Is normality a word? H5 looks... Can we please get an H5? You played the wrong rook pawn. Now C4. He could have played A4. C4, Bishop G7. Knight C3, and then A4. And oops, the lobster. Yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue. Shouldn't have let that happen. Did you copy and import it? What do you mean import it? I mean, I just tried to copy and paste it into a... I'll try again and see if it works a little bit after this game. Yeah, I mean, why Queen C2 when it can get attacked by the knight? You know, you're just getting... I'll try it again, Mickey, after this game. It didn't work the first time. Knight C6 is coming, so why not like Rook B1? Get the rook off the long diagonal. I think it's not that bad. Seriously. Okay? Here. Now we have two very big problems. And then bishop g2, and now knight b4. Now the queen goes back. We trade. Nice rook. Queen c7 with a long diagonal. And then the worst move I've ever seen, e4. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a brain aneurysm. Yeah, I mean, this is just over. Knight takes e3 check. No, I mean, white's still alive here until this last move. Just totally lost. He basically just, like, lost all his pieces. And he really tried. He's a try-hard. I love this move, rook e8. Rook e8? You're, like, up a piece here. So conservative. Now rook d8. And the final position is kind of funny. He resigned now. I guess he didn't like mate. Difficult to find a move. Okay. That was entertaining. That was from Yabatis, my analysis stream helper. Thanks everybody for supporting the stream. Don't leave us yet. It's not New Year's. Alright, let's try to do Mickey's game. Here's the... I wonder if those times are messing it up. This is the longest PGN I ever saw. So here's the PGN. Is Mickey not online? You're not online? Man. Can anybody put this in a study? Dude, it's like 3 pages long. Is this like in Slovenian or something? What is this? Alright, PGN. How do I... Anyway, he said he's playing better. He had a good game. He gained 17 rating points. This is from an Open Championship against an IM. Just copy last one. Oh, the last one. There's more than one. Yeah, I'm having a little trouble with my scroll. I don't really like to scroll on lichess. Just copy the last one. I think they need to improve the scroll feature. You know, that little tiny bar is hard to grab. I can't tell where the last one begins and where the next one ends. Oof. Careful. Careful! I'm trying to copy it. You guys can see this. I'm trying to copy this. Copy, tools, analysis board, paste. Please work. Please work. It worked! It worked, yes. Alright, maybe I did something wrong last time. Alright, you were white? You had to be white. You don't play the Scandinavian with knight f6, right? He has to be white in this game. So, your opponent played the Portuguese Gambit, which I played once in a tournament game, I think. No, actually, now that I think about it, I'm not sure I don't think I ever played the Portuguese Gambit. Maybe I did once. And my opponent also played Bishop e2. So, I was talking to someone who plays this recently, and he said, I mean, it's a player who's really studied it. Not a high-rated player, but a player who I know who's studied this seriously. His viewpoint was that you have to play f3 here to get anything for white. I don't know. I mean, bishop e5 has a really good score. This is a funny move. Leave it to Johnny Hector to play that. How can Johnny Hector... Who plays the Portuguese Gambit against Johnny Hector? That's just ridiculous. Let's find the craziest player in the world and play the Portuguese Gambit against them. You know, that seems like a good idea. It's a good idea, you know. That's like playing the King's Gambit against Tal or something. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's dumb, man. But alright. So is f3 the best move? f3 is the best move, but knight e2 is the second best move. See, there's something to that. That's kind of cool. You got to give Johnny Hector credit. You know, he was playing this back in 2013. Carlo Rossi played it in 2001. Anyway, I mean, knight e2 is creative. I like that. Yeah, I mean, f3 is critical, but also very dangerous. So, Mickey plays a safe move. Bishop takes e2, queen e2, queen takes d5. Yeah, I mean, knight f3 is forced. White has just the tiniest edge now. I don't like the knight f6 Scandinavian for long games. So here's an interesting position. I think you can play knight c6. Is there a reason why we can't play knight c6 here? Yeah, this has been played by Gallego, who he's one of the founders. Obviously, it's called the Portuguese Gambit for a reason. Gallego and Damaso and these other Portuguese guys in the early 90s really created this gambit basically for black. He's a good defender. This was rematch from last game in 2007. Alright, knight f3, so e6. Now obviously you can play c4 if you want to play in a kind of queen's pawn style. You chose to just castle. Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing against you, I would want to be solid. But you know, if my question is like this, like if white doesn't play c4, what is he gonna do? You know, like I feel like you have to play c4 sooner or later. You don't really have another way to fight for control of the center. So he decides to play c6. This has only been played in a few games. The two of them are very strong players who played it. Kasim Janov and Barbosa. So c6 is like hyper solid. I mean, clearly this is more active, but I think, you know, black's playing as to castle queenside. That's pretty dangerous. Of course, why are you playing the Scandinavian? Why are you playing the Portuguese Gambit if you want a solid position? I don't get it, you know. It's kind of weird to play the Portuguese Gambit, then clamp down and play solid. Now rook e1. This is not the crazy Mickey. This is the safe Mickey. But I mean, I would definitely play c4. You may not be comfortable in a queen pawn style structure, though. It looks like it was a Slav or something, you know. Rook e1. Then this is a really creative move. This looks like what Asterbait would play. The problem is, like, ultimately, I mean, you can play c3 and c4, what you did, you know. He's, like, basically forcing you to play c3, c4. I mean, you know, you can't play this with a clear conscience, you know. I mean, you might as well. I mean, really, this is very lame. You can play it if you like. Might as well just, please, can I have a draw? You know, this is so pathetic to play like bishop d2. So you played that. He plays bishop e7, and you played c4. You were forced to do it now. And then queen h5. Provocative play by black there. Knight c3. Unbelievably, we transposed to a Zelchich game. Dude, that's crazy. By this crazy move order, we actually transposed to a real game with strong players. I don't know the guy with black. But Zelchich is a Croatian very strong player. Probably Mickey knows that guy. Castles, b3. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like you should develop your bishop. Zelchich played h3. It's a solid move. I mean, bishop f4 looks normal. Like, what would a computer do here? Probably bishop f4. Followed by rook d1, and white is slightly better. I wouldn't want to be black here against the computer. b3 weakens your knight a little bit. So I'm expecting black to play a5 at some point. Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all he can do. This is his only plan. Rook e8 and a5. Yeah, it's very standard. But now I don't know what to do. I don't know what you should do. Rook d1. I mean, it's obvious. Black would like to play b5 somehow. I guess he could play it like Slav. Maybe you should even consider playing bishop b4 again. So you actually played a3. Did you play a3 to stop bishop b4? I mean, because I think he should. It's a Slav. After this, like, maybe black should seriously consider doing this. I mean, maybe he should just trade pieces, seriously. After this bishop isn't that great. Black can play b5. I don't know, though. You know, maybe technically white is better. a4. Fixing the pawns on the right color. And white is better. Yeah, I mean, it's risky to play bishop b4 and trade it off. Yeah, you don't want to play. I don't think you want to play b4. I didn't want to play a3, honestly. But it's alright. So anyway, a3. I wonder what he's trying to do now. So you couldn't stop b5. You could obviously play a4. Then he'll definitely play this. And then you'll have to go rook ed1. But I would imagine you're okay, even here. I don't think you have any problem. Yeah, it's too solid. So, alright, rook here, b5, allowing b5. This creates a lot of complication now. Now the game's very sharp. I guess you're going to have to take or something. Do you have any kind of tactics? I mean, maybe there's some kind of tactics here. d5. This doesn't seem to be anything here. Oh, you went with a knight e5. Which way do we take? I mean, clearly, this is an option as well. But this defends your bishop. Wow. So if he takes, he's just in trouble. I mean, this looks very, very awkward for black, right? That can't be okay. You know? That is not okay. I wonder, you know, what about taking here? This is an interesting variation. I guess you just take back with the pawn. But you know, the position is kind of, this is kind of weird. It's pretty complicated. Like, what happens if that, and that? and then like that, and that, and that, and it's kind of messy. I mean, I'm not sure what's happening here. It looks like White's got these crazy active knights, but there's not a lot of material left. Yeah, I think this position is probably very critical. But this is one of the most interesting games today, I think. He's very combative. A takes. A takes. Man, I don't like the look of that knight, that pawn on c6. He's going to have to play rook c8. This is super awkward. But why? Okay, so he has to keep this protected. Man. He's definitely not happy here. And black is worse, seriously. I mean, I'd much rather play that rook, but he's worried about this. You have serious threats, like playing d5. You wanted to play c5. Oh wow. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, what's this position here? Unbelievably, black is equal. Man, I thought he was worse. So he should have played this immediately, keeping the tension. But I thought this, actually. What about taking on c4? So this is extremely complicated. Knight takes c6, this is what we're looking at. Rook takes, knight takes a5. You have knight takes a5. Wow. And now back, or here. Knight takes c4. Yeah, I mean, your pawns are weak. Here. I mean, these pawns are not happy campers. Here. It looks like black's okay. Yeah, b4 was combative. But his rook gets kind of shut down. You know, now his rook is like shut down. I mean, that sucks. Yeah, I think you're better now. That's very passive, and now you did g4. So your knight is stuck on the side. This is a serious problem. Otherwise, you could like blast him with the A file. Yeah, you don't have like a way to like break through. If there was only a way you could like filter over to the A file and just to get in there, you know. There's no way to get in there. I mean, I'm actually looking at like crazy moves here. So g4 is reasonable. And then you traded and your advantage is kind of dissipated. Now it's just, yeah, it's equal. I mean, I don't know if there's anything better than g4. What do we do here? Funny, the computer wants to play g3 or rook ee1. Yeah, you're better, but how to make progress? And now nothing. I don't know. Do you have another move? Can you avoid exchanging? I mean, this makes sense to protect your rook. So then, like here, you could actually consider avoiding exchanges, like anything. Knight f3. Knight, yeah. Or rook de1. But I mean, even this. You know, just don't exchange. You're better in this position. You know? I think if you just don't exchange pieces, you're definitely better. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. So we're gonna make it a little faster. Take d5. He just forced it. You forced it. Ooh, now you have to take. We didn't really want to do that. And like, what happens if bishop takes? So he doesn't want to lose control of d6? So what happens if bishop takes? Someone help me here. This is a problem. Yeah, it's double-edged. I mean, black could even get the advantage somehow if you're not careful. I'm not loving this knight on a4. You know, and if you lose the pawn, you're dead. I mean, I don't know. Why would he take with the pawn? Yeah, it's better to take with the bishop. Okay, it's really close according to the engine. I'm just not... I guess he just didn't want to lose control of d6. But I don't really see it's that dangerous. Obviously, there was the pin problem. Now he's fine, right? So, do you have another option here, though? You don't have, like, knight b6 here. Man, this is an interesting game. I just don't have enough time to go over it on the stream. It would be good to go over it in more detail. Yeah, he's almost gonna IM endgame you now. It's obviously an experienced player. He has good technique. Black is slightly better now. Obviously, if there's no b pawns on the board, you know, it's a total draw, but he trades pawns here. Well, he's got to try to win your b pawn, but I guess he can't. If he can't win it, he can't win it. Yeah, I guess you can keep it protected. And the knight's eventually getting back in the game. Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, your knight's getting back in the game. And you can guard. It's not enough. Yeah. It's just not enough to win. This is definitely a draw. Well, I guess you could find a way to lose if you try hard enough. You tried. You tried a little bit, like, to lose it. But it wasn't enough. Okay. Good game. So, guys, a few more games left. We've got, got to thank Asturbate for the gift subs. We're going to be back on Sunday with a simul. I've got Sumahair, Mr. Coffee, and Asturbate. Learn, study, study. Let's learn. Study, learn. Learn my studies. Not a lot of viewers today. I didn't know, but I wanted to do the subscriber stream because even though people are busy, it's New Year's Eve. I didn't do subscriber stream last week, so I didn't want to miss this again. Even though we don't have a lot of viewers, get it done. If you can't be here for the stream live, you can always watch the replay. This is my way of giving back to the subscribers. One of the main features of subscribing. We do the analysis stream. Alright, so Yabatis is done. Cooking rooks. Rooking cooks. Where's Rooking cooks? Yeah, not a bad game. It got kind of interesting. So Rooking cooks is, there he is. This should be quick. G3, E5. When you encounter these moves like G3, B3, D3, Knight C3, you know, E3, whatever, play Cooking Rooks, play like you were white, basically. If you're an E4 player, play E5. If you're a D4 player, play D5. The only people who watch streams this time of year are either your close friends, are not Christian, or depressed. Well, I mean, it's New Year's. It's not like Christmas, but... yeah. Depressed. I'm just happy that Santa Claus brought me my... I don't know if you believe, you know, if it matters if you're Christian or not, but Santa Claus brought me my poker bankroll last night back in a very strange turn of events. It's almost unbelievable. I joked that I wanted a new poker bankroll for Christmas, and it happened. Just coincidentally, all in one night. G3, E5, E3, D5. So there is a Santa Claus. D4. Okay, what is this? You can push or keep the tension, but don't take. Even taking is okay for black, but why? So you played knight c6, keeping the tension. Now there's pressure on your d5. I don't want to give up. I don't want to do it. I don't want to trade. Mr. Cooking Rooks. So the question is, why not knight f6? You could play like Golubovich, and you passed up a chance to play like Golubovich. I don't believe that this guy, Kurejitsa, who's a really strong player, lost to a 2300 playing this crap with white. That's ridiculous, man. What is the guy doing? Why is he playing this way? He's like an expert in the Scandinavian with queen d6. You did won an open game. No, but I mean, no, don't be like 1800 style. Oh, I play the exchange French because it's an open game. You just have to look. You have to let the game come to you a little bit. Don't try to force it. I mean, it's an open game, but it's a symmetrical open game. I think this is better. Just keep the tension. Now you have this like very boring French exchange variation. Man, I can't believe that people really play this with white. I mean, I played like knight h3 on the first move, but this opening is lame. Knight f6 is good. a3. I'm paranoid, man. I'm a chess player. But I mean, a3, seriously? Like, black's gonna play 2 moves in a row. Like, white's afraid. He's afraid you're gonna cheat and, like, play bishop f5 the night before when he's not looking. I'll just play a3 just in case, He's like, well, just in case black tries to cheat and move 2 times in a row. I'll play a3. See, you can't do it. You can only make, like, 1 move. You can't play bishop f5 the night before all at once. So that made sense. A3 made sense. Now knight c3. Queen d7. Now we're gonna go Mr. Coffee style. Then he tries to foil your plans by checking and leaving his d-pawn unprotected. Bishop e7. And now we got a major problem here. Like central pawn hanging. Houston, a3 doesn't really help with that. He has to play knight f3, but it looks bad already. No, okay, he can play bishop e3. Yeah, Astorbate's favorite move. No, this is alright. He's still alive here. Okay. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not good, but it's not that bad. No, bishop e3, very natural with the queen on e2. Totally natural move, coordinating well with the e2 queen, and we defend our d4 pawn. But Homie played that. Is that a problem? Yes. Now you just take and it's like over. He's going to lose c2. He has to trade queens and play... It looks like he has to trade queens and play rook b1 or something. Oof. This is bad. Alright, you're threatening knight takes c2 check on the next move. All in favor of king takes d7, say aye. This is like Ripun's Hare Krishna game from 2 weeks ago, where I was surprised when Hare Krishna didn't leave his king in the center. Yeah, the point is, after this, and then white makes some absurd move, I don't know, rook a2 or something, let's say. You take this when you want to take it, but you play c6, and now your d5 pawn is protected, which in turn means that your king is safe. Nothing can attack your king here. Nothing. He's down a pawn and another pawn, for sure. And your king is absolutely safe. Yeah, he could play like knight f3. But I mean, whatever. You know, knight f3, bishop f3, bishop takes c2, b4, bishop f5, and black is 2 pawns up in an endgame with no compensation. Yeah, I played this not like that. In all caps. Bishop takes d7. No, anyway, you still have a very good position, but not as good. You know, clearly taking pressure off of this. He does play rook a2, double exclamation point. Now knight c2 check, but are you going to lose your d5 pawn? It's a tough call, but I think I'd rather play that. This is more murky. You see how like it's like kind of murky now. Obviously, he should take. If he takes with anything, he should probably take with a knight. But, and also, I don't think he should put his king on d1. If he has an option, I mean, maybe f1. Obviously, there's no safe place, though. You've got really nasty threats, my gosh. Like d4. And that. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, to give up his white square bishop, look at his white squares. Like, look at the white squares. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like I'm playing Pac-Man. Like, look at all those white squares. Are you going to trade off your bishop for a knight in a position where you have 0 control with the white squares in your position? Dude, that's crazy. You know, you need the white square bishop. He's giving up his bishop here? Damn. Bye-bye. Goodbye. You have mail. Now, if you really want to troll him, you should play like bishop d8. No, but seriously. Bishop d6 is normal. Nah, this check is annoying. You have to defend it. And you can't, you know, I think this is the move. Then bishop f4. You're clearly... You've got tactics, too. Maybe bishop a4 check? Do you have bishop a4 check? Does that work? Does that do anything? Not sure. You know, maybe this is good, too. Ah! Dude! No, here. You go here. And then you got... The back rank is free. Bishop c6 is good, but I mean you got to play king d7, you know, so your rook can come across and snap that knight later, right? The knight is trapped. Yeah, king d7 is forced. Now your rook is blocked. You know, that's the problem. So you basically, yeah, you did it like the slow method. This is really... Maybe you can just nail his rook on a2. Bishop d5. Rook a1. His rook is darn near trapped. You know, that, there. What's he going to do? This looks awful. Here, he loses a rook to bishop e4. You could trap both of his rooks in one game. That's kind of funny. So this happened. You went passive. But then you got his bishop. And now it's just ugly. I like his knights. Nice knights. The slow method. Like, you know the king can go up to the second rank, right? We'll give him a break. I don't think he knows. You know that rule, like your king is allowed off the back rank? You're allowed to advance up to the next rank? You know it can move forward. Alright. I just want to reinforce it. I want to reinforce it. Here, here, here. And it's over. It's funny, he can't attack your bishop. Very systematic. Oh, you let him out now? No way. He gets out with knight c7. Well, he temporarily gets out. Very temporarily. Doesn't he have b5 now? Yeah, you see, he did, kind of. He did kind of get out. This is good, though. He reached the lost king and pawn game. I like your pawn structure. And perfect pawn structure, an active king. Yeah, good job, man. It looks good now. Yeah, this is good. b5 is probably one of the fastest ways to win, without any risk. Good job, man. Seriously. All jokes aside. He played 8 center pawn loss. No unnecessary pawn moves. With 2 queens. That's just mean. Alright, guys. We got just a couple games left. I gotta hurry it up. Before the new year starts. Acerbate. We got Acerbate, Sue Maher, and Mr. Coffee. Alright, Acerbate. Mr. Slow didn't submit a game today. Mr. Slow always usually submits games. Well, maybe last week he didn't. Let me check. Yeah. No, it looks like he hasn't submitted a game in a while. Alright. We're going to do... Yeah, where were we? Where were we? Alright, we're in last game for the study. Acerbate. It's always fun doing an Acerbate game. Thank you, Cooking Rooks. I hope you get well soon, man. Happy New Year. Best of health to you and your family. And hope you're all healthy soon. E4, C5, knight f3, G6, bishop C4. Mr. Dr. Tripchance played knight C6 against me. And I did C3 and he did E6. We had this, right? D4, CD4, knight D4. A6. This is my game with Dr. Tripchance with white. And I literally did this stupid knight takes D6. It wasn't this position, was it? Castles, bishop G7, queen D6. I don't know, man. But I told Acerbate, try not to do knight C6 too early. Cooking Rooks with 1111. 1111. Another lucky day. Yesterday I got my poker bankroll back. It's looking good. It's looking good. Yesterday was a lucky night. Cooking Rooks, thank you, man. But you're making progress. So I try to tell Acerbate every week he submits one of these games. I try to tell Acerbate not to play knight c6 too early, Mr. Trip Chance. But I guess it's playable. So knight g5, e6. He keeps getting this all the time. d3. Yeah, this is just bad for white. I mean, it's like very artificial. I think that white should try f4, I guess. Very generous donation, Cooking Rooks. Thanks to you guys. So basically a transpose to a Grand Prix attack if white plays f4 now. So I think Acerbate, you ought to really seriously consider playing h6 sooner rather than later. Before he has time to correct his mistake, you know. Once he plays f4, he almost has a semi-reasonable position. Yeah, I've played that line a couple times. Dr. Tripchance. Because I've struggled with it with black, you know, so sometimes I'll throw it out there with white. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a mistake. He's like just losing time, bringing his knight out. Like, he likes just putting his knights on random 5th rank squares. Using an actual board while you play longer, like, rapid and classical games, maybe classical games, would be very useful. I used to do that when I would play training games. If it was longer ones, I would always play on a real board, even if I was playing like an engine or something. I think it's good to get used to playing with the actual board. Yeah, I mean, these knights are just ridiculous. Oof. Mr. Coffee said, oof. I think the knight should go back to the center, not on the side of the board. Instructive. Now c3, if anything, right? He plays that. Dude, that is ugly. That's ugly, and that's ugly. White has a collection of ugly minor pieces. And Aspie just cements him. It's sort of sad to play this, right? To block our bishop. But it might be worth it. I don't know. You have other options here. You have other options for sure, dude. You could drop a bomb on d4. And one of your bombs on the d4. And then just, like, pry open the long diagonal. I mean, I'm not worried about this pawn, right? Like, whatever. Here. Maybe b6 if you want to be careful, but I think I like killing that knight. I don't know. You know, can white, like, harass your pawn on c5 or something? This looks very dubious for white. So that's not your only option. What does the computer say? Yeah, like, d4 is not a top move. It's not a bad move. Like, you have a huge space advantage. Surprisingly, d takes c4. Which I wouldn't have played. Now, I thought this. Okay, d4. Oh, there's the base of his pawn chain, dude. Is that an important pawn? Survey says yes. There goes the pawn chain. Nice, conveniently defending c5 as well. Thank you for the bishop. Oh, thank you for the knight. I'll take that. Aspie is toying with his opponent now. Bishop a4 was actually the best move after d4. That's what the guy should have played, by the way. When you played d4, way back on move 17, what is this move? Move 12? Move 11? He should play bishop a4. It's like Snake Benoni. If he could trade that for anything, you know? If he could just trade his bishop off, he's making progress. Probably there. This I don't love, though. I'm not going to trade if it brings your bishop there. But now, like, knight c2, a3, b4. He's basically playing the Snake Benoni. It's not that bad. But Aspie just picked up some free pieces. And more. We're all expecting, like, bishop e4 here. Oof. Yeah. All right. So that was entertaining. Pure entertainment. So we've got the game with Sumaher and Mr. Coffee. Where is Sumaher's game? Suma. Is Sumaher in the list? He's not in the list. Sumaher. Games. Alright, here we go. Last two games. Sumaher versus IM. International Master Sevan. Sevan B. Don't know where he's from. d4, g6. So, interesting. I've played this against Sumaher a couple times, but I've always played bishop takes c3. The Gingy Indian. But he's trained for that now. But this guy doesn't play it. He plays d6. And it's just like a normal modern defense. Benoni, maybe. Ah. This is how I lost against Kovalenko. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good variation for black, but it's very tricky and funky. And it's good for people with black who are willing to take some chances and play some rope-a-dope positions. I've had a number of battles with strong players in this line. Medved, Ivanov. Normally I would play like bishop d3 and h4, but against Kovalenko I was more like circumspect. Like I think I played this against Medved Zoli. h4 is really like dangerous. You just don't like castle and attack like a maniac. I don't remember where I first found this idea. A Manasian game or someone with black. But it's actually like an established variation. Alright. So you played bishop d3, and after 97 you played h3, which turns out to be a move. That's normal setup for him, though. Sumir likes playing setups with h3. I lost to Ivanov the first time, where Alex just like got in bishop g4. It was basically like he got this in, and I don't know. It got even worse. Like later, he got like knight d7, and then did like f5 or something. The first time I didn't know how to handle it, but it looks like h3 is reasonable. You know, you're stopping bishop g4, castle, knight f3, h6. h6 is ugly. Yeah, I mean, this is very strange, but I guess it's a system. The engine says plus 1.2. Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very risky way for black to play. I mean, it's just not correct. But I played with Kovalenko, and he's a gambler. You know, he just plays like super fast, kind of Yubaba, like Yubaba style. It's not correct. I mean, this looks weird, but I guess h6. I don't know if he wants to do like a Grob style thing here, but I mean, I guess he's stopping bishop g5 primarily. So what are you gonna do? Oops, sorry. Here, castle's kingside is like a normal move, but then you know black can try to attack you. We can't really castle queenside in the Benoni, you know. So you played this. And then he did the Grob. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that g5 is necessarily the plan. I mean, the main idea was to like stop bishop g5. So it looks like there's a couple of games. Black should just like take and play rook e8 or something. This doesn't look that bad. Take. Wow, they actually played f5. Right. As long as white can't play e5, you know, that could happen. Then f4. I mean, I don't know. Is e5 playable? This looks kind of crazy. Takes and bishop takes c5. I mean, there's obviously a piecework here. But check this out. You know, this isn't real safe. White is like winning here. The cheese mate continuing the gift sub they got from Asterbait. Nice. So that's very risky, obviously. But I don't like know about g5. But it makes sense. I mean, it looks like, you know, that's what else is he going to do? So queen d2, and now f5. Whoa, that's a lot of pawn moves. I thought he was going to play knight g6. I had a game like this last week where I got killed by a guy. He did like h4. So knight g6 is bad too. Okay, so I guess f5 is reasonable. Now you're going to have to sack a piece. Cheesemate, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I mean, maybe queen d2 is wrong. Why don't you just do h4? I guess we should just do h4. It doesn't matter if it was in one move or two moves. g4, knight h2. I mean, h5, knight f1. It's a bad hippo for black. Like, I beat, like, Onishuk in the hippo, but my king was on, like, c7 or something. I mean, you know, your king is on g8 here for black. This is not really safe, you know. Alright, anyways. Queen d2. This is a blitz game. f5, take, here. And he just goes back. And now it's just this weakness. So you're going to castle kingside, I assume. I would castle kingside. But I guess this is alright. Slightly passive. Yeah, I mean, this is why I wanted to castle kingside. Ooh, he gets in on d4. So things got a little out of control there. It's a blitz game, and they're in time pressure. But I mean, as long as we get rid of that guy and play king b1... Yeah, I mean, I would have played king b1 as well. But apparently white has to do something else. Maybe you have c5? You have h4 here? Do you have h4? Whoa. Like, h4 takes... This is too fast. So what does white do? c5? Man, h4, b takes c4. Oh my god. That looks almost unbelievable. Yeah, this doesn't look good. White is not okay here. What else are you going to do, though? I mean, king b1 is very natural. Yeah, he should play rook c8. He has to play rook c8. Now you can take. Yeah, I mean, this b3. You could have just played b3. Now h4. And now he's got rook c3. He's got to try rook c3. I mean, how could he not play that move? It's unbelievable. It's such a beautiful move, too. I can't believe the guy didn't do that. How could you not play rook c3? Rook c3, knight c3, dc3. Man, I mean, this is at least interesting. He did that? Wow. And now he played rook c3. And it almost worked. But not quite. And the king and pawn game was a win. Checkmate is now unavoidable. Good game. Alright, everybody, last game for today. We're going to go over Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee submitted for the first time in a very long time. Thanks, everybody. Sunday. Happy New Year. Sunday is our subscriber stream. Thanks again to Cheesemate, Astromate, all the mates from the stream. Cooking Rooks, mate. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for a good year streaming here on lichess and Twitch. Mr. Kofefe. Mr. Kofefe. Here it is. Oh. Use your time. A Tory attack in a 10+0 hourly rapid arena. I don't know what my opponent's rating is because I have my ratings turned off. You have your ratings turned off. You mean you have, like, Zen mode on? I wish I could turn my rating off. You gotta tell me how to do that. Are you serious? There's like an option to turn off ratings? Or do you just mean Zen mode? Wow, there's actually an option. That's so weird. Mr. Coffee knows all... He knows all, like, the technical stuff. Oh, no. Oh no, how did this happen? Tools. Mr. Kofefe. Tell me how to turn the ratings off. How did I get those words in there? Are your annotations messing it up? So I should just do the whole thing. Reading comprehension. Copy. Tools. Analysis. Paste. Alright. Now we got it. I'm mastering the copy and paste. So we get to play the Tory attack. Alright, Tory attack. Coffee attack. Here. It's not as bad as the London, you know. It's not trendy like the London. Mr. Coffee doesn't go for trendy. Bishop g5. It's related, but it's not as bad. So black just plays bishop e7 here. No, not a common move, but reasonable. I mean, c5 is more combative. Knight on bd2. Now you have e4. Threatening e4. And black perhaps doesn't realize, so he just castles. And then e4, yes. Yeah, don't be a chicken, you know. Don't be a chicken and play like e3 here. He goes for it. I mean, obviously, if like d5, it's some kind of French. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's reasonable, right? d5. What do you do? Do you play like bishop d3? Mr. Coffee can play against his own opening. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e7. Is there some sort of knight f2? It's not going to fly. Here, this check is a problem. I'm not really sure about this. I don't think I know about that. That's weird, man. But apparently you have queen d2 sacking the pawn this way in that type of line. Anyway, we're really far afield here. I just want to see what happens on d5. e5, knight e4. Is apparently not good. Bishop e7, queen e7, just bishop d3. Okay, it's not that simple though. I mean, it's playable for black. Anyways, e4, d6. Mr. Redeem my message. To turn off ratings display, go to Preferences, Site Settings, fourth one down, and then switch Show Players Ratings to No at the very bottom. Thank you. Bishop d3. Knight c6. I don't want. How can I not show my rating to other people? Can I turn off my rating so that other people can't see it? Can you enable that option for me? My rating's embarrassing. I don't want anyone to know it. Knight c6, c3. Yeah, this is good for white. Sasha Nikolov, who I lost to once. He's losing rating points too. Rook e8, castles, and now b6. Yeah, it's a bad sort of Rilipez. Black's playing a bad Rilipez or a bad... It's a bad Owens defense now. Rook e1, bishop e7. And then Mr. Coffee suddenly, he just sparks into life here with e5. Master, what is that? If only your bishop was protected, you know, you'd be in good shape here. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what you're doing. After e5, he just takes, and if you take here, your bishop's hanging. So you obviously have to take with a knight. But I don't understand why you want to do this, you know? I mean, I think you're helping him equalize. I mean, obviously you want to do something, but I mean, white is better in this position. And maybe he's threatening to play e5, okay? The hardest thing to do is, like, be patient. I think you just have to be patient here. Try to find a useful move that's useful in all scenarios, you know, whether black plays e5 or just does nothing. What's the most universally useful move for white? Maybe h3 or something? You can bring this bishop back here. On knight h5, you can play like bishop e3 and avoid exchanges. Maybe bishop f1. I mean, even that might seem strange, but this move is bad, man. I mean, you're trading off his worst piece and your own center in one move. There goes your central pawn. There goes his worst piece. That was like blocking his bishop on b7. So black went from worst to equal. Rook takes, knight d5. There's more exchanges. Now, I'm not sure that's the best move, but it's certainly okay for black. No, so despite having played a bad move, you're still equal. You know, this is a huge thing. So Mr. Crosby doesn't know how strong his opponent is. They could be like 1100 or 2100. Yeah, I mean, given how strong his bishop is on b7, I think this is reasonable. You just concession. It's too much of a concession to leave that bishop on b7. Okay, you're theoretically a tiny bit better. You still have a superior center. Now his knight is on a bad square. You have a better center, and you've got h4, h5. Maybe, if you want to risk it. You did h4. Mr. Coffee did h4. So, I think he has a good queen move here. And you have a lot of potential moves you could play. Queen b3, queen e2, a4, h4. I mean, I don't know. Like, there could be tactics. Like, this looks kind of awkward. Probably nothing, though, you know? I mean, this is probably bad. No, actually, he's hanging the pawn on e6. Never mind. He's not hanging the pawn on e6. Yeah, there's knight f4. So, you got to be careful. But it was hourly. It wasn't a pool. It was hourly arena. So, it's totally random. I can play 1100s or 2200s. That's the funny joke sometimes. I can't guess if it's an 1100. I made that joke with move 11 once. Queen e8. Ugh. That's an ugly move. And then h6. I think you play this move like very, very high percentage of the time here. Actually, I was talking to move 11 about that. Apparently Matthew Sadler, according to him, I haven't seen this, but Sadler has a book where he worked a lot with AlphaZero, using AlphaZero, and it really has a lot of focus on this sort of wedge pawn, you know. I think black has to take it. I mean, he takes it and his structure is bad, and it's justified pawn sacrifice here. I think you could play h6 with not even a moment's thought. This is a completely reasonable move. Yeah, the engine is like h6. Brain dead, you know. You definitely just play h6. This is kind of weird. Yeah, so that's something to learn from. You could just throw the pawn at him. Dr. Chipchance ruined Mr. Coffee's dream of beating a master. Damn, dude. No spoiler alert. He thought he beat a master. Alright, rook h4. Rook d8. Dr. Chip Chance. Master of spoilers. Now black played h6. All that rook h4 for nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's starting c5 now. Well, call it a threat if you want to. You don't call it a comeback. No, I mean, I don't know. Is it a threat? This weakens your base of the pawn chain. I don't like that becomes a target here, but maybe. If you have a way of getting your knight to c6, this is a good move, obviously. Maybe tactically you've got something. Yeah, he's going for this. He's desperate. Black is desperate. And after queen f3, the knight c6 is really nasty. Mr. Coffee looks like a genius now. Crushing this master. Oof. Yeah, that's a nasty knight. How did this happen? No way. Mr. Coffee feared the worst. In fear of knight 97, knight b8, he played knight e5. Oh, Mr. Coffee. How could you? How could you? So this is really bad. I mean, you got the killer knight. He's dead. You know, he's dead, man. He's paralyzed. There's nothing he can do. His only chance is knight d7, knight b8, or knight f6 or something. Okay, he's not completely dead. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, this looks really bad for black. I guess it's not that easy to finish him off. It's true. The rook on h4 is kind of awkward. I exaggerated. I'm not really sure how we finish him off here. +2. Yeah, it's not that easy. But I don't feel this is right. This is definitely not right. Like, I am not playing knight g6 here. Dude, that's my knight on e5. He's gonna have to, like... He's gonna have to trade it off. I'm not gonna trade it off for him. You have an advantage despite trading that knight, but I don't think you should. You know? Why would you do that exchange? So we see a tendency to make exchanges when it's not to your advantage. 2 times in this game. Spot the one move trick? Master. Okay. This has got to be a bluff. Man, he just bluffed him. Like, I'm all in. No increment. I take... Show me the mate. Where's the mate? No, I mean, if you have g3 and king g2, this is pretty serious. Maybe. Even there it doesn't work. You need like g3, king g2, and rook h1, and then it probably works. Wow. Oh man. And he made it himself. Oh, what's the worst move in the position? Rook e7. What are the 2 worst moves in this position? Rook e7 or queen e7? He literally has to find a way to block his king from running away. Dude, are you serious? You didn't mate him? This is the worst move on the board. Rook h8 check, king here, queen h2. King g8, queen h7, king f8, queen h8. Mr. Coffee, I can't believe it. Dude, I had to... You do more tactics. You can't do a bluff like this and not see mate in 7. Are you serious? You need to do more tactics puzzles. This is a baby. This is a baby tactic. Alright. Rook h7 with the very subtle queen h2 threat. Safety first. Now he saw it. Now with 5 seconds left. So what are you saying? Like with 10 seconds left you can't see it, but with 5 seconds left you see it? How do you rationalize that? Dude, I had 10 seconds left. But now you see it when you have 5 seconds left, right? That's the total justification. Alright. Thank God for Rook e7. Anyway, man, it was instructive. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. We're out of here. Happy New Year. Thanks to Mr. Coffee. Thanks for submitting a game. Mickey is correct. He thought his opponent's time. Thank you, guys. Have a great New Year. We'll see everybody soon. Let's see. Let's do a raid. I don't have many viewers, but we might as well raid. So we'll do a raid. I think I raided Bia last time. I'm going to raid Art Vega. Try to mix it up a little. Everybody have a happy New Year. Be well. Thank you, guys.